Hey guys, this is FPL Tips and welcome back to another Fantasy Premier League live stream. And in this stream, we're going to talk about free hit and bench boost. We're going to go through some of the templates that we'll discuss on the live stream itself. So the structure of the stream is going to be somewhat like this. I have I haven't planned anything as of now. What specific team are we going to discuss or what players? I have certain players and themes on my mind, so we go about it and we'll take the input from the chat as well. So we'll figure out what is the best formation and team that is possible out of the lot we have. So to start with, just to tell everyone that my budget is 100 million. So we are only focusing on players in and about 100 million and 100.5 million at max. So I think it's going to be a much more universal thing, and anybody who's playing Fantasy Premier League will be able to make this team with the help of their budget. So we're waiting for a couple of people to join. If you guys can hear me and see me clearly, please mention it in the chat. Abhishek Abhankar, hi. I don't see a lot of people. I see Abhishek, and I think that's it. Hi, Varun. Can you guys hear me? Hi, Abhishek. Hi, Varun. Okay, so we'll start with the people we have and let the others join on later. Okay, so my strategy for game week 30 plus is very specific. It's going to be use the unlimited transfers, then do bench boost, and then use wildcard in game week 31 plus or 32 plus, depending what my team looks like. Okay, there are certain players that I think are definite, and everyone should target them. Two that are specifically on my mind is Kevin De Bruyne and Jack Grealish. I think Aston Villa will not be scoring a lot of goals, but even if they score a couple of goals, Jack Grealish could be at the end of some, and he could score more points than he average or a single game week player. So these are two players that you should, or in fact, everyone should have in their team. The next player, I think, Kun Aguero. His goals per minute is 80 or 83. So for every 90 minutes he plays, he scores a goal. And I think he'll start one of the matches at least. And I think if he starts, he's going to kill it. We have chat from Varun. Varun says Leno Hendo, 5 million defender, Egan Basham, Hanley, Lascelles, Sterling, Grealish, De Bruyne, Douglas Lewis, Ozil, Aubameyang, Aguero, Samata. He says that's his bench boost team. Yes, we'll talk about each team and each the best assets from each team and how each player will perform or how I think they'll perform. So we'll take Varun's team as a base example. Leno and Henderson, I think, is the best combination to go about keepers. Leno also averages 4 points per game, and Henderson, I think, could be giving us save points as well as clean sheets. Clean sheets, yes. I think they get at least one clean sheet, but even if multiple clean sheets, then that's even better. So those two are go-to options in even my team for when you look at keepers. Next, if I have to rate defenders from Sheffield United, because that's something people are going to triple up. So if I rate players, in fact, from Sheffield United, I think it's going to be Baldock, it's going to be Basham, Stevens, then Fleck, Lundstrom, Egan, in my opinion, and even Lees Muse. So these are the 5 6 players in order that I think I'm going to target. So if you have Basham, Stevens, or Fleck, I think any two out of the three is good. So I've gone with triple Sheffield United defense as of now because I think I want a stronger midfield, and I think the defenders from Sheffield also are really involved in the goals Sheffield United scores. So that I think the defender should cover it up, and if Lundstrom starts, I think I'm going to have in my team over maybe Basham or Stevens. Moving on from City, there's a really big debate that who to pick from City. I think Sterling Mahrez is the third best option. Going for a defender, in my opinion, is not good because even I think it's not gonna be that easy. Even Burnley tend to, if you see their form, they were scoring up a lot of goals in the when you come to the end of the break or just before the break to the end of the season. So City defenders is, in my opinion, is just wasting another attacker option from City. Gavin says is Jimenez is a good option. Yes, Jimenez is a good option. Any asset from Wolves is a good option. Wolves have a great run of fixtures. If you need for the double game week and bench boost or just a long term option, Jimenez is good. Uh, the reason I've taken Yota is because of the budget constraints. If you want to invest, if you have money and if you want to invest, apart from Jimenez into Wolves, I would say double up on Yota and Doherty. Both of them play at different wings and generally are into the box and a lot of shots into the box. So the only point you'll miss from Wolves is penalties. And the rest will get covered automatically. So if you want to double up and spread your funds, then Yota and Doherty is a better combination than Jimenez. YOLO Gamer 3D, hi, hi, it's good to have you. Guys, I'm audible, right? Just confirm once. I've been speaking for a while and nobody's responding. Am I audible? Am I audible, guys? Yes. So I was saying with the City that I don't think it's good idea to invest in the defenders or in the defense of City because you're just giving up on an attacking option who could score wonders in a double game week. Beat Sterling, beat Mahrez. And honestly, in my opinion, I yesterday I sat down with my team and I was discussing the stats and we realized that for Pep, Sterling is a much more of a pick than Mahrez. Sterling starts more games, and even when the games are closer, Sterling tends to play more minutes. So if you're looking at minutes and chances, then Sterling, yes, he's a better option. But how many chances does Sterling convert? That's a debate. He's been off form the entire season. We might look at it as a thing that he after the break he finds his form or something like that, but that's a risk. That's totally up to you. He's 3 million expensive and is out of form. So if you want to watch a player who's going to play maximum minutes, I would say Sterling, Aguero, and De Bruyne. But if you're going to watch for someone who's going to give the impact in whatever minute he plays, is Mahrez. I think Mahrez is going to create much more impact than Sterling in the specific minutes. I don't think he'll start the matches, but he'll create the impact. Yola Gamer says, could you quickly explain the strategies that can be used for someone who has wildcard free hit and bench boost? Yes, Yolo Gamer, we've already explained it in the video, but I could explain it here as well. If you have all three chips left, your wildcard free hit and bench boost, I would suggest you making a team using the unlimited transfers for the double game week and then bench boost. Use the maximum for out of the double game week because we are looking at a scenario where we could see zero double or blank game weeks coming up ahead. So use your bench boost right now, and then immediately after it, use your wild card. Maybe game week 31 plus or 32 plus, depending on your team. Just use the wild card. And with free hit, we might see some easy fixtures coming up. And if we could see some fixtures for all teams easy, so we could free hit in that match or that game week, and then we could capitalize on those fixtures. Yash Verma, hi. Captain for double game week. Kevin De Bruyne, Aguero, Sterling, Grealish, or Pepe. I would say Captain Kevin De Bruyne. He's most likely to start in both the games and is a safer pick. If you want to go differential, go with Aguero. I wouldn't recommend Oba or Pepe. Okay, a lot of people are actually inclined towards Arsenal assets. The only asset I have in my team is Leno, and I think it's going to be the only asset I'm going to keep in my entire bench boost team. I'll explain it. I have a reason behind it. And before that, I'll answer to YOLO Gamer. He says, "What if we use our free hit for game week 30 plus?" This is a question. This is a question I've been getting for days now again and again. See, the scenario is if you see my team right now, if this is the team you had before Premier League resumed, and if I make certain transfers like Sterling to Salah and Grealish to maybe Perez, now and then you confirm those transfers and then you hit free hit. Those two transfer will also be considered under the free hit chip. So when your free hit is done, when your game week is done, your team will revert back to the team you can see on my screen now. So your transfers of Sterling to Salah and Grealish to Perez won't be counted. So make sure any transfer you're making before the free hit also gets included into the free hit. Varun says best 5 million defender for game week 30 plus excluding Sheffield United. I think if you look at the fixtures, I think a defender from Leicester, Justin at 4.7 million is going to play at the right back role. Pereira is out for the season. I think at 4.7 million he's really good. And the second team I would like you guys to invest is in Crystal Palace. I think Crystal Palace will also uh, be able to keep a clean sheet. We know Harry Wilson is back for Bournemouth, but I don't see them scoring a lot of goals. So from Crystal, maybe Ward or Cahill are two good options. And otherwise, if you want a good long-term option, Justin from Leicester City is a really good option. Moose says, should I take Sterling or Salah? If you're planning on to play bench boost, then I would say Sterling. But for long term, I would recommend Salah. You guys, I'll have to give me a minute. I'll just stop two people. Okay, so now there won't be any disturbances, Gavin. That's fixed. Yash Verma says Aurier or Van Bissaka, given both have easy fixtures. I would say Van Bissaka. If you see his recent form, he's been putting a lot of crosses into the box. He's been a bonus point magnet, and I think Manchester United will capitalize on that easy fixtures much more than Spurs. Aurier, on the other hand, if you see Spurs getting back to form, you can easily switch between them. But otherwise, to go and start with someone, I would say Van Bissaka. Varun Bhav says, won't Watford and Bournemouth play to avoid relegation so Palace and Leicester could not keep clean sheets? Yes, that's a fact. With Leicester, I think Leicester will definitely keep a clean sheet. Not if not in the next match, maybe in the next one match out of the two, or maybe two out of the three. But Leicester defenders, I think, are a must because they are defensively very neat and very tactical about it. And now they also have their central midfield, defensive midfielders into the game. So I think it's going to be really neck to neck, and Leicester defenders are a good pick, especially if you're buying someone at 4.7 million who's playing right back as well. I think it's a really good pick. FPL Penguin says I've seen a lot of draft teams with Grealish in. FPL Penguin, I would like to specify on this point with Grealish in fact, from Aston Villa. I don't see Aston Villa defenders keeping more than 4 points throughout the double game. I think they'll concede a lot of goals and they will take those -1 point hits, and I don't think they'll score 4 points too. So coming to the midfield, you have two good options, which is Muggin and Grealish. Picking Grealish is that he's going to be a sure starter for both games. He's going to play maximum minutes, and he's also on penalty duties. So that just gives Grealish the edge over Muggin. And talking about Samata is, I think he's 5.8, and I think he's too much expensive for maybe point 6 million. I'm getting Yota in my team. I think I'm going to invest that point 6 and get a Bulls attacker instead of Samata. Hence, the only viable option from Aston Villa left is Grealish, and hence you would see a lot of teams. In fact, almost all teams with Grealish who's playing bench, whichever team is playing bench most will have Grealish in that. Eurogamer says, what strategy are you using and what chips have you left? I am left with wildcard, bench boost, and free hit. The strategy I'm using is bench boosting in game week 30 plus and then wildcarding in the next or game week 32 plus. And we'll free hit according to the fixtures. There is no specific time for free hit, but we're going to do it in somewhat game week 35 or 36. FPL Penguin says thoughts on Alonso, 4 goals, 3 assists in 10 games. With Alonso, the thing is that Aspilicueta was a bit injured in the late part of the season, and that is when Alonso stepped in and started playing a lot of minutes. Now, in the initial one or two games, we'll have to see if Alonso starts. If he starts, he's a great asset. He's 6.2 million, I think 6.3. But he's a great asset if he starts. If he doesn't start, then we'll have to switch someone like Mount or Tammy. In my opinion, the best asset from Chelsea would now be Tammy Abraham. He is the show starter for the season. He's fully fit, and we've seen him score a lot of goals, especially in the away games. I want dim. Yash Verma says, which pair do you think should I keep for long term? Bruno Vardy, Son Rashford, Son Vardy, Bruno Rashford. That's a good question. I would personally, if you ask me, I would keep Bruno and Vardy for the long term. I think investing too much on Manchester United assets is not my thing. Bruno is an essential from Manchester United, I would say. So Bruno, definitely, that really eliminates Son from the equation. And out of Rashford and Vardy, I would keep Vardy. Varun says, in your team, why do you have taken Mount and not Pulisic? That is because of the budget. If you see at the top of your screen, you'll see zero point zero million remaining. So that's the reason there is no Pulisic instead of Mount. Also, I think Mount will play much more attack, might play much more attacking. In fact, I'm not going to keep Mount for long. I think I'm going to switch Pukki and Mount out for Tammy Abraham and Cantwell. That's the thing I'm looking at. I'm looking at Tammy Abraham in my team instead of Pukki. We could also do that now if you guys wanted. We could remove Mount and Pookie, and we could get Abraham add player, and then we could get Cantwell from Norwich. So yeah, and it perfectly fits into the budget as well. So we're looking at this team at this moment. Uh, I'm going to invest majorly in this team. I'm going to upgrade Egan if I have. I definitely have the budget. Sterling is another debate we're talking about, Sterling or Mahrez. But depending if I go Mahrez, I'm going to upgrade Cias to Doherty. So we're going to play around with the budget. This is one of the templates I am going to fit in that I'm going to work on. And this might also be my final team. FPL Penguin says, why would you say Reece James is a safer option? Would you say Reece James is a safer option than Alonso? Yes, I would say Reece James is a safer option than Alonso. But if you see, if you're looking at attacking threat, I don't think Reece James is going to be that attacking as Alonso. Uh, Alonso virtually actually plays in the box and has a lot of shots inside the box as well, rather than having shots outside the box. So he's a really good attacking threat. Manav Narang, hi. Should I bring in Mahrez or any other Man City assist you suggest to bring in midfield except KDB? We talked about this. I think it's between Sterling and Mahrez. If you have the budget, I would say Sterling because he's much a safer option. I think he'll start both matches. With Mahrez, I think he'll come on as a sub for one, and he might also play at least 60 minutes for the other game. I think Sane is going to take that place, and Sterling will shift to the right. What Mahrez and Vardy for? I did not understand that. Can you repeat that question, mate? Gavin says I'm going to take Doherty. Is it a good take? Yes, if you have the budget, Doherty is a good take. Someone asked me before that is Jimenez is a good option. I explained him that if you have Doherty and Yota, instead of Jimenez, that's also a good combination because you have two players who are playing on two different wings and they'll be attacking the crosses from each other, and you can see a lot of combination goes in between them. So I would say if you're looking at Jimenez, that's a good option. But the other alternative could be Doherty and Yota together. That's a perfect combination in my opinion from Wolves. It's going to cost you around 15 million at max, but it's going to be a really good combination. And not even 15, it's going to cost you 13 million, I think. Uh, Varun says if you're playing bench boost, why aren't you getting 12 double game week players? Isn't that better than single game week players? Yes, Varun, that's a good question, and I would say that no, because if you're getting 12 players, you're looking at players from Arsenal, you're looking from players from Aston Villa, defensive players from Aston Villa, attacking players from Arsenal, and honestly, I don't see Arsenal scoring a lot of goals. If you ask me, I would say Manchester City versus Arsenal scoreline would be something like 3-1 or 4-1, and Brighton Arsenal would end up being 1-0, max 2-0. Maybe 2-1 as well. I don't see Arsenal scoring a lot of goals. I don't trust Pepe. I know Lacazette won't start both matches. So those two players are already eliminated. With Aubameyang, he's going to consume 11 millions. And I could spread that funds into players I want. Like I want Abraham. I think Abraham will outscore players like Lacazette or Pepe. So that's why I'm spreading my funds. I think Yota and Abraham together will outscore Samata or Nikitia or Aubameyang altogether. So it's basically, what do you think? Can your budget be outscored by other players as well? So if you talk about it, I think Yota will definitely outscore Samata in, if even if he has a double game week or a single game week. Yes, Doherty and Jimenez is another combo, but I think Doherty and Yota is a better combo. It saves you a bit of money and it's still slightly better. Varun, replying to your question, when Arsenal options are really out of me, and with Aston Villa, you'll have to have defensive assets. And as I said, I don't think they'll even score 4 points altogether in the double game. Whereas if you look at Crystal Palace, I think Van Aanholt could score a goal, provide an assist, maybe even a clean sheet. You never know. So there is much more chances of him scoring and outscoring an Aston Villa defender. Same goes with the Arsenal defender. The reason I have an Arsenal keeper because of the saves. Leno makes a lot of saves. If you've seen his stat, Leno makes a lot of saves. He somewhat has made over 100 saves till now. So those are the points I'm aiming at. And even Justin. Justin is a long-term asset, so that's why Justin is in my team. And another thing that when you'll also have to look at the team value. Just randomly removing teams using the unlimited transfers, you will lose a lot of team value. So that will make it tough for you to bring the same player back again in your team. You'll have to be a bit logical about it. You cannot have 12 players and expect everyone to perform. That's just like expecting a specific scoreline for each match. So just I'm trying to spread my funds in the right places. The easy fixtures I think are Crystal Bournemouth. I think Newcastle, Sheffield, Aston Sheffield is a easy fixture. West Ham Wolves, I'm not sure, but we could see a couple of goals being scored there as well. Watford Leicester is an easy fixture to me. I think Leicester is going to be bang on. With Barnes, Perez is out. Perez has a knock. I think Barnes is nailed, and he is going to be spot on as well. Grealish is a must, so he's in my team. Sterling, De Bruyne, and Aguero. I've put all of my eggs in one basket, which is Manchester City. I think Manchester City's attack is going to be phenomenal, and if they perform anywhere close how they perform at the start of each season, I think it's going to be really good. Cantwell, as I said, I really wanted a Norwich player, and I think I'm going to invest in Cantwell instead of Pookie. As I'm investing on Abraham. Abraham has a record of scoring a lot of goals away from home, and Aston Villa also concede a lot of goals at home as well away. So that's another point I'm looking at. Kelly Kapoor says, "Oh my God, finally a live stream on FPL. I just started FPL and it's great." Kelly Kapoor, if you're new to the channel, we do deadline streams and we do team selection teams streams and we upload a lot of FPL content and videos. So if you like the stream and if you like our content, please consider subscribing to the channel. Junaid's channel says no Aubameyang. Yes, mate, no Aubameyang. I think Aubameyang is going to be one of the flops of the double game week. A lot of managers are buying him. I think Aguero will outscore Aubameyang and is a better option. I just talked about how I think Arsenal will not perform that well, and having less players from Arsenal is a better option. Gavin, Salah or Mane? I think Salah. I think he's on the penalty duties. He's fully fit. That's another criteria. He was injured majority of time in the season, and that affected his performance. But now he's fit, and that's great. If he's fit and he's on penalties, I think you should own him over Mane. And Kelly Kapoor seems to have a crush on Salah. Junaid says, "Are you going bench boost?" Yes, the Junaid, that's my strategy. I'm going bench boost this game week, which is game week 30 plus, and I'm going wildcard in game week 31 plus. That's the strategy we're going about. Although, if I think my team is absolutely perfect for game week 31, I'm going to play wildcard in game week 32 plus. But we're definitely looking at the bench boost strategy. Guys, post in your questions if you have any in the chat, guys. Junaid says I'm going with 8 double game week players this week and will probably take a 4 point hit next week because I have no wild card. Junaid, that's a perfect strategy. In fact, if you don't have a wild card, you could consider free hit because if you think your team is absolutely perfect with a couple of transfers for game week 31 plus, then just maybe free hit and bring in 11 players for the double game week, attacking that game week, and then you'll be back to normal in game week 31 plus. The best scenario if you have no wild card is free hit, but otherwise taking a -4 hit is also okay. Kelly Kapoor says I want to captain Kevin De Bruyne, but what about Aguero? Kevin De Bruyne or Aguero? I said I think Kevin De Bruyne is a safer option. But if you want to go really differential to increase rank, Aguero could be a pick too. But if you ask me, in my opinion, Kevin De Bruyne is a better pick. Yes, Junaid, I know you're going bench boost as well this week. Okay, so then that automatically eliminates the option of free hit. But nevertheless, if you're going bench boost and you can capitalize in a lot of players, that's good too. Tracking any friendlies through which we come to know player forms and start as an out of position players. Yes, I've been tracking some of the friendlies, not all. The latest friendly that I tracked was Wolves versus I forgot the team, but Wolves played a friendly and they lost 2-0. But the team was a bit mixed with the under 23 team as well, so that's not a problem. Arsenal played and won 6-0. We saw Aubameyang score 1, Lacazette score 2, and Nigeria score 3. Then Chelsea I played. I think they drew 1-all. Uh, they played against their internally within their team. Same with Manchester United. They played internally in their team. Rashford, Bruno, Pogba all were involved in goals. So yeah, we're looking at no injuries at the moment. Robertson and Salah did suffer a knock. I know Perez suffered a knock. Those are some players you should look out for. I'll be keeping an update and keeping posting and updating you guys on Instagram stories. So don't miss out on the stories. So, thanks, Junaid. It was Charlton. He says, "Sorry, guys, I did not remember the name of the opposition team because I've not been keenly following. I've just been keeping a track of the scoreline and injuries." Yes, Sharma. Who will take penalties and free kick, Bruno or Rashford? I think it's going to be a shared duty between them. Free kicks, I think it's going to be Bruno, but with penalties, it's going to be shared between Rashford and Bruno, as it was initially shared between Pogba and Rashford. The one who maybe gets the penalty or draws the penalty will take it. So in most cases, we could see Rashford doing that job, but free kicks, I think, is going to be definitely Bruno. Even the set piece and corners. Should we try another template, picking in players you guys want? Let's pick some other players. Which players should we add to the team? Which essential players do you want to add in the team? Yes, we're playing Bundesliga too. I just managed my team a couple of hours ago, but we're not doing live streams on Bundesliga right now. Varun, suggest some players you guys want to see in the team, and we'll make a draft along it. So we'll shift to the draft part, and we'll try to manage the budget. Varun says, let's try a template with 12 double game week players. Okay, Varun, we'll try a template with 12 double game week players. Gavin says, should I keep Arnold for the double game week? If you're playing bench boost, I don't think it's a necessity. If you're looking long term, then maybe Arnold is a good option, and he's been performing. He's going to be great anyways. Yes, Junaid, exactly. If it's free hit, then I don't think you want to bring in players who do not have a double game week when it's a free hit chip. Long term, yes, Arnold is good. Okay, so we're looking at 12 double game week players. So Van Aanholt goes out, Cias. I think I'll keep Cias. Justin goes out. Greece stays, Barnes goes out, Diota goes out. Cantwell stays. So we're looking at 12 double game week players. Okay, so we'll pick players from Aston Villa first. I'm going to pick Samata because why not? Mention some players if you want to see in the team. Gavin says, should I keep Arnold or get a better attacker? Gavin, it entirely depends on your strategy. If you're looking at a free hit or a bench boost strategy, I think Arnold is not a necessity in this game week. Also, if you look at the fixtures for Liverpool, they are Everton away, the Crystal, and then they have City. In the next three fixtures, I don't think they'll keep more than one clean sheet. And if you look at the attacking returns, I think an attacker would return more than Trent. So you could look at other attacking options for long term as well. Junaid says Ozil, Aubameyang and Ozil. Okay, we'll bring in Aubameyang and Ozil. We'll remove Samata. So we're going to Arsenal players. We're bringing Ozil. A lot of drafts I've seen have Ozil. People, I think, have now started looking at Ozil as an FPL asset. Initially, that was not the case. So we have Aubameyang and Ozil. Sterling, he says Sterling. And Junaid says Bernardo Silva just for the triple city. If you're looking for Silva, I think David Silva is a better option. He's going to start more matches and is more clinical if you see in that case. So if you want another city asset, I think Sterling won't fit. So we try going and fitting David Silva instead. For the triple city attack, we're going David Silva. This is somewhat the team looks like with 16 million left. Again, he says keep Samata. Okay, we got to choose between Magain and Samata. I think Magain is cheaper. We'll also have to remove Leno and then we'll have to take Rena because of the budget, I think. Maybe Laporte. I don't think City defense is the thing you'll have to invest in because if you're looking at City defense, Laporte is 6.3. If you can see on the screens, and David Silva is 7.3. I think an attacker for 1 million expensive is much more better option from City. Abraham or Pookie, you've changed it in your team. Gavin, it's gonna be Abraham for me. If you're asking for me, it's gonna be Tammy Abraham. It's not gonna be Pookie. Pookie was an option I was exploring, but I think for this gaming, I'm going Abraham and Cantwell. I might change it on later, but this game is gonna be Abraham. Yash Verma, Aubameyang is already there. FPL tips. Nelson Bigatti. Sorry, mate, I don't know that player. 12 double game week player need both Magain and Samata. Okay, we might try to fix that 12 double game week thing. We might restore Leno. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, we have 8, and we have 10. We have two more spots to be fixed. What about Target? We could bring in Target from, or we could just go Magain. I think Magain is a better option than Target. So we're going Muggin in midfield. So we have an attacker to put in. We've got two defenders, and we've got a lot of money for it. We've got 16 million. Junaid says I'm going Pulisic as Chelsea option. I think maybe you should try Tammy. Pulisic is also good, but maybe Tammy. You should also consider Tammy. Van Aanholt or Aaron Van Bissaka. I would say this game week Van Aanholt because he's more attacking than Van Bissaka, and he has an easy fixture this week. Long term, Aaron Van Bissaka undoubtedly. Okay, so we're looking at another Arsenal asset. Should I take Nikitia or should I take Samata? What do you guys say? We could have. Let's go big with 12 things. I can go with Wolves as well. Or should we go for a Wolves or Norwich attacker? We go Doherty, and let's say we have Yota. Then we still have four. We have 9, 11. We target, or we can go for target. Junaid says Samata. Quandum says Samata. And Berlin. Go Berlin at the back. Samata and Leno. Okay, so we have an opinion formed out there. We have Samata in my team. So, yes, where is Samata? So, these are the 12 double game week players we're looking at. So, we have two more spots left and we have 8.6 million. So, that you can have Doherty and then we have Justin. That leaves you with 3.9. So, if you want 12 double game week players and want a decent bench as well, then you'll have to go for CS. And then we have 5.6. We can go to an Arnold. So yeah, that just fix up the team. Are you sure that Aguero will play both matches or should I take Oba? I'm not sure if he'll play both matches, but if you see his stats, even if he plays around 40-50 minutes, he's going to be lethal and he might score definitely more than Aubameyang. What do you guys say? Should we report and block Condom from the chat? Guys, the rest of the people who are watching, please mention if you want us to block him. So yes, he's been blocked, so no longer his messages will be seen. I think that's enough. I am not sure if I can kick the guy, but I think we can just report him, and that's it. Okay, so yes, so we look at the team now. I was also considering, guys, do you want us to do such team streams more often? Because anyways, a lot of us spend a lot of time managing our teams and picking up players and forming templates. So what if we can do it on the stream? We can just do it on this live stream where everyone can pull in and try different templates. If you guys like this idea, we could decide a time and you could do this more often. So it just saves you guys time, and we could always share the thoughts around the community. Varun, that math is correct. 24 games and total 27 games. But if you look at this team, how many of these players do you see performing a lot? I don't think I see Grealish and Magin both performing a lot. I don't see Samata performing. David Silva, I think he'll underperform as compared to Sterling or Mahrez. I don't. With the defense, it's the same thing. So the three attacking players that we've changed, and Aubameyang, the four attacking players we've changed: Ozil, Aubameyang, Samata, and Magin. Do you guys see these four people and David Silva, these five people outperforming Barnes, Cantwell, Sterling, Yota, and Tammy Abraham? That's the question. Simply running behind the playing points is not essentially the essence of bench boost. Do you guys see these five people getting more points than those five players? I think not. Yes, Verma says Samata plays really well. I think yes, Samata plays really well. But if you see their oppositions, Sheffield has been great defensively. I don't see Sheffield conceding a lot of goals, and Chelsea also got stabilized by the end of the season. So we are not looking at a lot of goals. So three attacking options from Aston Villa could really backfire. Junaid says, "Do you want to see my team? You can mention your team in the chat, mate. If you can, you can definitely mention it in the chat." Gavin says, "You can do that, mate." I'm not sure if you're replying to the live stream part, so let us know. Gavin says, "Is Ozil a serious take?" No, I don't think. In my opinion, Ozil is not an option for me in Fantasy Premier League at this moment. I mean, at first I would want to see him perform at least in a couple of games. And when I'm sure that he'll be getting us points, that is when we try to get him in. Hi Shreyas, it's good to have you back on the stream. Do you have wildcard remaining? Yes, I have wildcard remaining, and that is the strategy. Bench boost in game week 30 plus, wildcard in game week 31 plus. So this is one template where we're looking at 12 double game week players. The previous template, I'll just reset it if you guys seen it. The previous template is somewhat like this, where we're looking at 4 and 8. 8 double game week players, and the rest players are not double game week. But I think this is a better team. If you look at the scoring point of view, I think this team will outscore the previous team. Oisin high, how many double game week players is enough? Well, anything about 8 players is enough because that just majorly covers every point and every major players from each team. Well, the max you can go is 12. Yash says playing Leno and two Sheffield United defenders or Hendo, David Lewis, and Baldock. I think Leno and two Sheffield United defenders is a better option. You could go Basham and Stevens, Basham, Egan, Basham, Baldock. Even if Lundstrom starts, Basham and Lundstrom, and you could go Leno. I think Leno isn't good option only because of the fact that he's going to give you save points. Arsenal, I don't think will keep a clean sheet in the City match. Definitely not. With Brighton, they might, but that's going to be the same number of points for each player. So maybe just go for the save points. If City is going to attack a lot, that also implies that Leno might make a lot of saves. So that's where I'm actually targeting, and that's the reason I'm having Leno in my team. Junaid says Leno and Krul in goal. Cahill, Sias, Lascelles, Egan, and Basham in defense. That's a good defense, mate. Sterling, Kevin De Bruyne, Pulisic, Fernandes, McGinn in midfield, Aguero, Aubameyang, and Samata in forward positions. I think maybe upgrading Samata is the choice to go about it. I feel like that's an essential to do. If you want to upgrade, McGinn is nice. McGinn is fine. If you want to go McGinn instead of Grealish, that's fine. But I think upgrading Samata would be a good option. If you want the budget, you could go Pulisic to Mount at any moment, and you can upgrade Samata to Yota. With Tierney back, does have rotation risk. Also, is Saka a good option? I think he's not been. With Tierney back, I think he'll might have to fight a lot for his place in the squad. We could see a lot of rotation around him because now we have 5 sub, so that definitely allows Arteta to switch the right back and left back roles and bring in new players. So I think even if Saka starts, he'll get it subbed off around the 60-minute mark. With transfers reset or carry over, they'll reset, mate. This is the only chance where you have unlimited transfers. So if you want to use it, you can capitalize the maximum you want. But next game week you'll have only one free transfer. Junaid says that's an interesting option. Yes, Junaid. Also, if you want to upgrade a lot of things in your team, you can obviously downgrade Obama. But if you want Obama, you can go downgrade Sterling. So there is a lot of budget you have, and I think your team value is pretty nice. So there's a lot of budget you have to play around with. My plan at 31 plus is to get rid of Sterling and Samata for some Sun and Jimenez. That's a good plan, but the only concern I have with Spurs is that I think Lo Celso is out. He's injured. I think he's injured, and Spurs, yes, Kane is back, but will Spurs be able to attack and achieve that form back? Because usually with Mourinho as the manager, we see much more defensive stability than attack stability. So I would like to see how Spurs perform against United and then decide if I want Son or not. Even I am planning to go Kane for Aguero. So let's see how it ends up. Gavin says Aurier. I think at this moment Aaron Van Bissaka is a better option than Aurier. Uh, you can invest in Aurier, but I think you would want to just observe him for 2 game weeks, at least 2 game weeks, and then you have a good run of fixtures coming up, so you can buy him for Aaron Van Bissaka any moment. Aguero or Oba. I have Leno and Kevin De Bruyne already. Aguero. I've said this a couple of times on the stream already. I think even if Aguero does not start both games, which could be the case, and Aubameyang will start both the games, I think Aguero will outscore Aubameyang because if you see the stats, Arsenal haven't scored goals against City. So that's another point. So that just almost eliminates the option of Aubameyang scoring a lot of goals against City. And if you even if you look at the past games again between Brighton and Arsenal, they've always been between 0 to 2 goals, maybe 1-0, 2-0, 0-0, 1 all. So you don't see a lot of goals there as well. Whereas if you see the previous matches between City and Burnley, there are scores like 4-0, 4-1, 5-0, 3-0. So you're expecting a lot of goals there. Whereas in Brighton, Arsenal, you're not expecting a lot of goals. Shreyas, please say hi to Ice Cream. I think he'll not stop until you reply. Will Laka start so Oba plays on the wing? So 11 million on the wing is definitely not worth it. Another point: if Laka does not start, if Lacazette does not start, Neketia or Martinelli will start. That's for sure. Aubameyang is not going to play centralized. They might opt in false nine and entirely change their system, but a change in system also takes time to settle in. You realize that if you suddenly start playing with a different formation, different system altogether in one match, it's going to take the time to settle in. So there also will not see a lot of goals. And Aubameyang otherwise will play on the left wing. And we've seen in the previous matches he was on penalty duties, but we didn't see a lot of shots inside the box. So that's a big concern for me as well. Whereas Aguero is definitely inside the box, he takes a lot of shots as compared to Aubameyang and has a lot of big chances. Okay, we'll try another template. Let's try a free hit template, guys. Uh, we've tried two bench boost templates. We'll try a free hit template. So Shreyas, don't keep up Otamendi. He might not even start. You've Fernandinho and Laporte starting together. I don't think Otamendi will make a place in the team. So we're now going to the free hit draft. We've not done that. We'll just select a couple of cheap keepers first because I don't think free hit requires expensive keepers. So my definite go-to option is Button. With Henderson, Justin, Ciaz goes out, Van Aanholt goes out. We're looking at cheap defenders as well. Suggest me a 3 or 4 million starter cheap starter defender, someone who starts and is priced around 4 million. We're seeing Williams is an option, but he won't start. Reed is injured. Everyone's injured. We have Foster. Is Foster a good keeper? Foster has a mix of fixtures coming up. The first fixture itself is Leicester. I think he'll not gain a lot of points. Shreya says, "All right, mate. Thanks. No problem, Shreyas. Guys, suggest me a 3.9 million defender. How about Killman? I think Killman does not start, but on the bench we can afford him. So 3.9 million defender Killman is on the table. Grealish, Barnes go out. Should we play 3-5-2? Should we play 3-4-3? I think 3-5-2 is the go about it. We have free hit team which is 3-5-2. So we're looking at attackers now. So Aubameyang comes in and Sterling, Kevin De Bruyne. We will look at replacements for Barnes. Then we could look at Ozil. Should we take Ozil or should we go for Lacazette? Chat mentioned. Should we go Ozil or should we go Lacazette? I don't see any response from the chat. Any good defender under 4.5 million? Under 4.5 million, I think Ward is a defender under 4.5 million, and he is good. And Crystal could keep a lot of clean sheets. Lascelles, I think, is 4.3 as well. Yes, Lascelles is another good option. CS is 4.6. We'll have to see if Southampton keeps their defensive form. We already discussed a lot about Stephens in our previous streams. So if they keep the defensive stability, then Stephens. Otherwise, I would suggest Ward as the first good option and second Lascelles. I hope guys I'm audible. I've been speaking for a while and the chat is not responding. Yes, Shreyas has finally responded. 352 perhaps. So we're going with triple. I think we'll not go with triple defense. We'll go with Fleck in the middle because we don't have a lot of options anyways. Target also Charlie Taylor from Burnley is also a good option, guys. I forgot